In Artifact 1, I will demonstrate ISTE Criterion 2 and Georgia PSC Standard 1.1 of setting professional learning goals to explore and apply pedagogical approaches made possible by technology and reflect on their effectiveness. In the next few slides, I will demonstrate evidence of my professional learning goals for this project-based learning activity. My first goal was that I will design and implement a project-based learning activity that utilizes digital tools to produce artifacts that demonstrate learning. My second goal was that when using project-based learning, I will integrate technology to increase student engagement and understanding of the learning objectives. To meet my first goal, I used a template of a project-based learning activity from the Learning Effect and adjusted it to meet my students' needs. I designed it to be a project relatable to my students that also utilized digital tools. For this project, students utilized technology to brainstorm park ideas by creating a mind map in their first task. We chose to use mindmaster.com to introduce digital mind mapping because it was very user friendly. The purpose of this was to introduce digital work tools to my students. Students were encouraged to use their paper blueprints to create a 3D design of their dream park. They could do this in Google Slides or tinkercad.com. This is a student example created in Tinkercad that you can see has a pool, an inflatable movie screen, and multiple activity rooms. The final digital tool used in the project was Google Forms. As a culminating activity, students reflected on the project and described the challenges they faced. To meet my second goal, students were encouraged to use Google Chrome to research the dimensions of their park features throughout the project. After research, they could walk out the distance using a yardstick or the 12-inch tiles on the floor. This enabled students to use realistic measurements on their blueprint design and increase engagement by relating their project to real-life measurements while integrating technology. To review area and perimeter, students use Khan Academy, if needed, prior to calculating the measurements for each park feature. Khan Academy allowed me to meet my second goal by allowing students to use technology to increase understanding of learning and of the objectives for this part of the project. In this part of the presentation for Artifact 1, I will demonstrate ISTE Criterion 13 and Georgia PSC Standard 4.2 of collaborating and co-learning with students to discover and use new digital resources and diagnose and troubleshoot technology issues. During this project-based learning activity, my fourth graders and I used a new digital tool. This experience allowed me to learn alongside my students as we determined the best use of technology for our project and worked through issues as they arose. A new technology tool we used in this project was mindmaster.com. I wanted the students to have the ability to brainstorm by creating a mind map using a digital tool. Before settling on this specific tool for mind mapping, I discussed with the class the idea of brainstorming online. We talked about what this would look like, and I shared some intro videos for several different mind mapping tools. MindMaster was the one chosen by the majority of students. Before setting the expectation of using the tool for the assignment, I spent some class time allowing the students to explore mindmaster.com by logging in with their Google accounts. Through collaborative discussion, we discovered it was very user-friendly, integrated well with our school Google accounts, and provided many useful templates like those shown here to help students get started. Once we spent some time co-learning the ins and outs of MindMaster, we created a collaborative mind map of my dream park. By creating a mind map in collaboration with my students, I was able to encourage and model the thought processes needed when brainstorming ideas for the project. Students were then able to create their own mind map on mindmaster.com. In reflection, although MindMaster was chosen by the majority of students in my class, there were some initial learning pains. I think this was mostly due to the digital mind mapping being a new concept to the students. I saw that students really began to gain confidence in using the tool when they realized I was learning along with them. We spent time learning and experimenting together after students were able to log in using their Google accounts. During this time, they were able to discover and share features of the tool with the rest of the class, as well as help each other out when technology issues arose.